Ticats play their second game of the regular season on Friday, July 1st, Canada Day. What do the Ticats have to do differently against BC?
Well, I think they'll see a better rush, don't you think, up front, and not only up front from the linebackers as well. BC linebackers are of course legendary, and what Brooks up front, it looks like trouble spots there. So I see C.J. Gable coming into play here an awful lot as a blocker, just to have that extra man there. And then I think they can get Jennings. I mean, they're going to be chasing him a lot more than they ever had to chase Ricky Ray. That's the issue there. So he could be doing some of those dump offs to his running back Johnson, and he's got a pretty good receiving core. I don't see the defense having a whole bunch of trouble here. I just think it's an adjustment.
I think that's right, and I think what you'll see now from teams is once they get some film on Jeremiah Masoli, right? They have the Eastern Final from last year. Right. They've got Week 1. They'll start to take away the things he wants to do, right? They'll force him to make the kind of throws he doesn't want to make. Squeeze
him more in the pocket so he doesn't have that extra option going outside, I think. Just square him off a little more.
Right. And so now the question will become, how can the Ticats adjust? How can Masoli adjust when they start to take away the things he likes to do?
Yeah, and then that will be whether it comes off a play-action pass, which means probably establishing a little bit of a run, at least the intent to run off the start. That's part of what they can do, whether they go back to what those plays they used an awful lot last year of the wide out around kind of thing and all the series that comes off that. I think one of the things is that they've got to be very aware, because there's more speed right now on this team than there was last year when BC played them, with the addition of Chad Owens, and looks like the inclusion of Speedy Banks a little more in the offense than maybe you and I expected off the top. And maybe that was just one game against the Argos, but he was much more of a passing option. He's the kind of passing option he's always wanted to be since he got here, and I think that adds an extra dimension there.
First game at Tim Hortons Field during the regular season. This has been a place where the Ticats have enjoyed a home field advantage. Do you expect to see that continue this year as well?
Oh, I certainly do, and I think the crowd will be pretty. And remember, the last thing that happened here, at least in the regular season here, was a game-winning field goal that put the Argos out and put them into the finals in a year in which they didn't have their starting quarterback. It's sort of around the time when, and I won't call it the legend of Jeremiah Masoli because it's only 3 games, but
that was the beginning.
If it ever becomes that was the beginning of it. Yeah, so that was the last thing they saw here. It's a pretty, people have been waiting. We've noticed that at the newspaper that people are just anticipating. I'm sure you noticed it on the 3 Down Nation that it feels like a while, and it's been a while, I think, since they played in the first couple of games of the season at home, right? They generally have been on the road an awful lot at the start of the year. And this year, 2 of the first 3 are at home, and I think that's a good thing, too. Get the summer started right.
Well, and a big advantage for the Ticats, right? I mean, you don't want to take BC lightly, but they are having to travel cross country, and then they host Winnipeg next week. This could be a team that has a good start to the season, not something they've been able to do in the Kent Dawson era.
Well, or even many eras in the last 25 years. It hasn't been a Ticat forte to start the season strong. I mean, depends what you call starting the season. Last year they had a pretty good record up to Labor Day, and if you count that as the first half of the season, it was really a magical season up to that point. So,
but 1 and 2 to begin.
1 and 2 to begin the year, and that doesn't seem to fit with what happened afterwards. So there just seems to have been something going on each, and it might be the way Ken Dawson, and I like that. I like the way the teams tend to grow through in the year. Most times, except for maybe last year, there was some question about one unit when Kent's been here. When he first came, certainly the offense or defense, and that tended to build. The first 2 years, the defense built partway through the year. I think the defense is, with all the changes, despite all the changes, they look ready to go right now. I'm very surprised at how far ahead the defense is of where I anticipated them to be.
We're ready to go as well, so make sure you check out the games on Friday. We'll have all kinds of preview stuff on 3 Down Nation and full coverage of the game. For the Hamilton Spectator and 3 Down Nation, I'm Drew Edwards. Please stay tuned.